That way they can look petite, demure, and in need of being rescued from those big bad cowboys, right? It's always about creating the illusion. Check out the illusion on the left. That's another facade. You see how it's completely empty? That's just the front and the sides of a building, just like the courthouse I showed you earlier. Over on the right is another illusion. You see that tiny body of water? That was the entire Pacific Ocean for McHale's Navy. They used miniature ships to make it look like a bigger area. That is where the creature from the Black Lagoon lived. It's where the ladies from Desperate Housewives said goodbye to Mrs. Huber. It's where Norman Bates disposed of his victims in the movie Psycho. And it's where a group of tourists started out just like you guys. On a 3-hour tour, a 3-hour tour. I hope we don't end up the same way, you guys. Now check it out, don't blink, you're gonna miss this if you do. Over on the right-hand side, do you see that tiny patch of grass? That was Central Park for Friends and for Seinfeld. Yeah, they shot their wide establishing shots. Remember when I explained that at the beginning of the tour? They took their wide establishing shots in Central Park. Then they came here, they set up the same lampposts, the same benches, and they brought their actors, and then they did their close-ups. When they edited between those wide shots and the close-ups, nobody could tell the difference. You like that, huh? Now guys, Steve and I have brought you to this location to show you a classic effect that Peter Jackson used in the movie King Kong. When we were inside of the King Kong attraction, you saw some very modern special effects. Well, this is a classic effect. You know what that is? It's one that's been around for a long time, right? So get your cameras ready over here on the left-hand side. We're gonna, oh my goodness. I'm glad you stopped, Steve, because this is all flooded out. Steve, can you back us out of here? No, don't go forward, Steve. We can't go through the water. Steve, can you back us up? Okay, he's pretending he can't hear me. So I take that as a no. Guys, I need your help because I'm going to try something super desperate that I saw in a movie once. Sound good? Yes? Okay. I need your help. You need to yell at the top of your lungs, part the waters when I count down from 3 to 1. Okay? Are you ready? Here we go. You got your lines? Don't mess this up, okay? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Are you seriously expecting magic with that? Okay, I'm going to give you a take 2 because that was pathetic. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. All right, maybe some dramatic music will give this a little oomph. There we go. I'm going to put this on camera so you can see what's happening. The waters are parting for us just like they did in History of the World Part 1. Now we call this a practical effect because it's happening right before your eyes and right in front of the camera. The classic effect that we brought you here to see is still waiting for you on the left-hand side. As we go through the water, pick up your belongings off the floor. You could get wet. You could get wet. Let me show you how your classic effect was used in the movie King Kong. This is the SS Venture. This is as large as the SS Venture ever got. But you remember, they were supposed to be in the middle of a storm. This water looks awfully calm, doesn't it? If you look at your screens, you're going to see how they solved that little problem. They hired some guys, they handed them some shovels, and they moved the shovels in the water just like that. That was the storm on camera. You see that? That's the storm on camera. If you keep looking at the bottom right-hand side of the screen, you see how nature ruins a perfectly good take. Wait for it. Wait for it. There it is, a duck swimming alongside our ship, making it very obvious that that was not a full-size ship. Yeah, we had to do that take again. Directly in front of us is a large building with green windows. That is our props department. A prop is anything that an actor touches or holds in a scene. If it's not nailed down to the ground, guess what? It's a prop. Now we are going to be getting very close to that production I told you about at the beginning of the tour, Home and Family, hosted by Christina Ferrari and Mark Steines. So I'm going to go off mic, but before I do, I'm going to tell you as much as possible about Little Europe. This was Pamplona, Spain for the running of the bulls and city slickers. It was the fictional country of Genovia for Princess Diaries 2, A Royal Engagement. It was Paris, France for the Muppets. We saw Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy having a serious conversation about their relationship here. Over on the left, we saw Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz riding their motorcycles. Right where I am, they blew up a car for Angels and Demons. It was supposed to be the Vatican with Tom Hanks, right? Over here on the left-hand side, that is where we saw Johnny Depp running after he had saved Keira Knightley's character in Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean. In fact, whenever you saw them in Tortuga or Port Royal, they were always right here. And this is also the birthplace of monster movies like Frankenstein and Dracula. This is also my quiet zone, so I am going to go completely quiet here. So, through Little Europe, that's where all of these great monsters got their start. So it's a pretty cool and popular place. Obviously, it was Tortuga and Port Royal more recently. It was originally built for All Quiet on the Western Front, where it was supposed to be Germany. Since then, it has been used as lots of other places. This is what we call our Western sets. At one point, we used to have 6 different streets that met up at one point. And this is where we would see those famous cowboys. They would come bursting through the saloon doors. They would get themselves into barroom brawls. They would break chairs over each other's heads and send one another crashing through the windows. Yet those cowboys never got hurt. You know why? Well, the chairs they were breaking over each other's heads were made out of pre-scored balsa wood, so they were ready to snap with just a little tap. The glass they were going through, that was made out of candied sugar. Yeah. Now guys, Steve didn't bring us all the way to Amity Island so we can talk about, you know, Westerns, right? I know you guys are thinking some bad things about this place, but no, we are actually here to just kick back and relax for a little bit, right? Now, like I said, I know you guys are worried, but there's nothing to worry about. My friend George is a police diver. He's right out there. He's looking right at the shark. There's really nothing to worry about. He's been training for this. He's got a plan. Let's watch the pro in action. He's so cute. He's yelling at the shark. They say if you hit a shark on the nose, they go away. So this is like a dual prong of, oh, did you see that? That is blood. That is not the plan. Okay. Chief Birdie, please. I'm in Amity Island. It is not good. He got George. Do you hear me? Yeah, he got George. No. The guests are fine. They're smiling. They think it's part of the show. Okay, copy that. So you want us behind the gasoline tanks? Yeah, you mean the gasoline tanks that are blowing up? Yeah, okay. Guys, we've got this all under control. It's just a really awesome show we're putting on for you. Oh my goodness. I am just as surprised as you are, guys. I really am. Now look around the tram. What do you see? Some beautiful smiles. Look at you. You are totally ready to do a toothpaste commercial. Seriously. If you ever get called in for one of those, that's a smile you want to flash them, okay? Now guys, just think of Bruce jumping out of the water at you, right? That'll make you laugh. Wait, you guys thought his name was Jaws, didn't you? Oh, come on. No. I'm going to straighten you guys out right now because every insider knows that his name is Bruce. He was named Bruce by Steven Spielberg. Did you know that? Do you know who he named him after? His attorney. Yeah, Bruce, which you guys know as Wisteria Lane from ABC's Desperate Housewives. Stay with me on the left and you won't miss a thing. We're going to see the other side on the way out. The beige house is where Gabrielle Solis lived, played by Eva Longoria. Right next door to her in the Lavender House lived Bob and Lee. That is the original 1313 Mockingbird Lane from the Munsters. The Yellow House with the Stones is where Susan Meyer lived, played by Terry Hatcher in the 1970s. The Hardy Boys lived there. This house used to be green on Desperate Housewives. It's where Lynette Scavo lived, played by Emmy Award-winning actress Felicity Huffman. When Ronald Reagan was acting full-time, he lived in that house in a movie called Bedtime for Bonzo. After season 1 of Desperate Housewives, they added the park in the center and the 2 houses coming up on the far right-hand side. These are what we call practical sets. They can actually film on the inside as well as the outside. All of the other houses on the street, they had to go to a sound stage to shoot the interiors. Who lived in that peach house? Anybody know? Here's a clue. Who's that? Edie Britt, played by Nicolette Sheridan. Also Renee Perry, played by Vanessa Williams. Over on the left, the blue house is where Mrs. McCluskey lived. The olive house, Mike the plumber. The blue house with the bricks, that's where Bree lived, played by Marcia Cross. And the next house is where Mary Alice lived. She narrated the whole series from her grave. This is also where the Cleavers lived in Leave It to Beaver. Now I am going to direct your attention over to the right-hand side so you can see the big blue house on the corner. That was seen in Animal House. Now straight over to the left-hand side, you see the yellow house where Nancy Drew lived, and the green house right next door where Matlock lived for 12 years. That neighborhood was the neighborhood in The Burbs with Tom Hanks. It was in The Money Pit. It was in Casper. It was in Michael Bublé's It's a Sunny Day music video. It was in Mel B's latest music video. It's been in countless TV shows, including CSI Las Vegas, which used it as a crime scene. It's been in commercials. So why do you think it's so popular? Even Ted used it recently for Ted 2. No? Nobody knows why? I understand. It looks pretty ordinary, doesn't it? But that is exactly what makes it so charming. The fact that it looks like any ordinary American neighborhood.